Welcome to Literal BS, the podcast that peels back the layers of American liberty. Every day, we live under the umbrella of freedoms fought for, debated, and enshrined over 2 centuries ago. But how much do we know about these foundational rights? What did the framers intend, and how do these ancient words shape our modern lives? We're going to unravel the first 10 amendments to the U.S. Constitution, the very essence of what it means to be free in America. From your right to speak your mind to your protection against government overreach, prepare to discover the profound power of the Bill of Rights. This is Rob, and let's get started. While closely related and often used interchangeably, there's a key distinction between the Bill of Rights and constitutional rights in the United States. The Bill of Rights, this refers specifically to the first 10 amendments to the U.S. Constitution. These amendments were ratified in 1791 and were largely a response to concerns from anti-federalists who feared that the original Constitution did not adequately protect individual liberties. The Bill of Rights enumerates specific prohibitions on government power and guarantees certain fundamental rights to the people, such as freedom of speech, religion, the press, assembly, the right to bear arms, protection against unreasonable searches and seizures, due process, and more. Think of it as a specific subset of constitutional rights. Constitutional protections. This represents a more comprehensive category that includes all liberties safeguarded by the U.S. Constitution, extending beyond merely the initial 10 amendments. The original 7 articles of the Constitution, for example, the right to habeas corpus, Article 1, Section 9, or the prohibition against ex post facto laws, Article 1, Section 9. Subsequent amendments 11 to 27. Many later amendments also establish or protect rights. A prime example is the 14th Amendment, which contains the Due Process Clause and the Equal Protection Clause, significantly expanding civil rights and liberties and applying many of the Bill of Rights protections to the states. Other examples include the 13th Amendment abolishing slavery and the 19th Amendment women's suffrage. In essence, all rights in the Bill of Rights are constitutional rights. Not all constitutional rights are part of the Bill of Rights. The Bill of Rights is a foundational and incredibly important part of our constitutional framework, but the Constitution as a whole, along with its later amendments, provides an even more comprehensive set of protections and guarantees for individuals. Here are the first 10 amendments from the Bill of Rights. First Amendment protects freedom of religion, including the separation of church and state, freedom of speech, freedom of the press, the right to peaceably assemble, and the right to petition the government for a redress of grievances. Second Amendment protects the right of the people to keep and bear arms, typically interpreted in the context of a well-regulated militia. Third Amendment prohibits the forced quartering of soldiers in private homes without the owner's consent, especially in times of peace. Fourth Amendment protects people from unreasonable searches and seizures of their person, house, papers, and effects. It requires probable cause and a warrant for searches and arrests. Fifth Amendment establishes several protections for individuals accused of crimes, including the right to a grand jury indictment for serious crimes, protection against double jeopardy, being tried twice for the same offense, protection against self-incrimination, the right to remain silent, the right to due process of law, fair legal procedures, the right to just compensation for private property taken for public use, eminent domain. Sixth Amendment guarantees additional rights to those accused of crimes, including the right to a speedy and public trial, the right to an impartial jury, the right to be informed of the nature and cause of the accusation, the right to confront witnesses, the right to obtain witnesses in their favor, the right to have the assistance of counsel, a lawyer. Seventh Amendment guarantees the right to a jury trial in civil cases where the value in controversy exceeds a certain amount, originally $20. Eighth Amendment prohibits excessive bail and fines and cruel and unusual punishments. Ninth Amendment states that the enumeration of specific rights in the Constitution does not mean that other rights retained by the people are denied or disparaged. This implies that there are other unenumerated rights that people possess. Tenth Amendment reinforces the principle of federalism by stating that powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution, nor prohibited by it to the states, are reserved to the states respectively or to the people. And that brings us to the end of our journey through the Bill of Rights. We've seen how these 10 amendments, born from a desire to safeguard individual liberty, continue to resonate deeply in our society. They are more than just words on a page. They are living principles that shape our laws, define our interactions with the government, and empower us as citizens. Understanding the Bill of Rights isn't just about history, it's about understanding your power, your own voice, and your own protections in this nation. So, as you go about your day, remember the profound legacy we've explored. These rights are not granted by any government. They are, as our founders declared, inalienable. It's up to each of us to understand them, to cherish them, and to ensure they endure for generations to come. Thank you for joining us on Literal BS. This is Rob, and see you next time.